guys, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for tuning in. So today we are talking oily skin hacks. I know the struggle. I myself have got very oily skin. I know that it can be really difficult to keep your makeup looking fresh, keep it in place all day long, everything that goes with having oily skin. So in today's video, I have got 10 hacks that is going to change your life as an oily skin type. So if you are interested in learning how to keep your skin mattified and keep your makeup in place all day long, then please keep on watching. Hack number 1 is deep cleansing. I cannot recommend this more. I promise if you are cleansing your skin properly and you are clearing all of the sebum and the dirt and the impurities that are deeply lodged down within your pores, your skin is going to repay you for it. Much like with everything, the choice of cleanser that you use to do this is also super important. You want to use a cleanser that is not going to dry or dehydrate your skin. So you know that feeling that you get, when you wash your face and it's like squeaky clean and it feels tight, and you might think, oh well, I've got oily skin, so isn't it good to get rid of all of the oils off my face? No, honey, no. By doing this, it is essentially counterproductive. If you remove all of the natural oils from your skin's going to go, I need to produce a lot more oil to get back to my normal equilibrium or my normal state, and then you're going to overproduce oil. So I recommend using a cleanser that is oil-based, or a cleanser that's really soft on the skin and is not going to be too abrasive and remove too many of those oils. Hack number 2 is to actually use oil on your skin. And I know, again, it sounds completely counterproductive. I know what you're thinking. I know you're like, Nikki, I already produce so much oil. Why would I add more oil to my skin? But again, when you do this, it tricks your skin into thinking that it's got enough hydration in the surface and therefore it will produce less oil. This bad boy here is going to be your best friend. This is straight up coconut oil. Yes, you cook with it. Honestly, coconut oil is the best thing ever if you've ever cooked with it. Delicious. But straight up coconut oil before you go to bed at night. Obviously you're not going to do this before you apply your makeup. No. Before you go to bed at night, slather yourself in coconut oil, really nice thick layer. Your skin will absorb it fairly quickly, so it's not going to ruin your pillowcases or anything, but you will find over time as you start to add natural oils back into your skin will therefore produce less oil and therefore your makeup will stay longer and all day long. Hack number 3 is to use a moisturizer. I was guilty of this for basically my entire life until maybe about a year ago. I always used to think, oh, no. I cannot use moisturizers. I'm oily already. If I use a moisturizer, I'm just going to oil up even more. My makeup's going to slip slide off my face all day long and I'm going to look like a hot greasy mess. But again, that thinking is counterproductive. So again, by using a moisturizer, you are rehydrating your skin and tricking your skin into thinking that it doesn't need to produce so much excess oil to keep a healthy, balanced state. Hack number 4 is to use a primer before your makeup, obviously, but also use a setting spray over your primer before going in with your foundation. I know that this sounds crazy, but think about how it works. So a primer creates a barrier between your skin and the makeup. So essentially, if you've got a really good quality primer, it's going to stop the oils from coming through the primer and, coming through the foundation and causing your foundation to oxidize and shift and get really greasy. But if you double team it and you add an oil controlling primer first and then you add a setting spray to your face, it's essentially 2 barriers that the oil has to get through before it starts to ruin your makeup. I know you're probably thinking, girl, what do you want about? But trust me, just try it and let me know, it legit works. I do have a few favorite primers here to quickly mention. Hands down, holy grail primer for oily skin is the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. I've spoken about this heaps. I will link, my oily skin foundation routine and whatnot down in the description bar below if you haven't seen it already. This stuff is like gold. I also really love the MAC Prep and Prime Skin Base, and then I also really love the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. And then some of my favorite setting sprays to use, definitely the Model in a Bottle Makeup Setting Spray. This stuff is I don't even have words. You could run a marathon, go swimming, do whatever, and your makeup won't come off once this is on. The Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray, love this, and it smells so good. And a recent favorite, the L'Oreal Infallible Fixing Mist. This one's obviously a little bit less pricey and a little bit more affordable, but yeah, go in with your primer, set it all with a setting spray, and then we're ready for foundation. Hack number 5 is for those of you that have a great deal of difficulty with oiliness through the T-zone and keeping makeup on your nose. I know, I've been there, I feel you, I hear you, girl, I can hear you screaming at me through the camera, help me, help me, help me. I know, and the best way to keep makeup in place through the T-zone and on the tip of your nose and around the sides of your nose is with an eyeshadow primer. My favorite one to use is the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the color Soft Ochre. Basically, prime, setting spray, and then use this through your T-zone. So a little bit through the center of the eyebrows, down the nose, all over the end of the nose. I know that the makeup can melt off your nose and you're like, I haven't touched my nose, what's happened? It's just something that goes along with having oily skin. It's fine, don't worry about it, it's all good. Pop this all over the end of your nose and even on your chin as well. And if you do have trouble, you know, with makeup sort of fading, you know, when you lean on your hand like during the day, pop a little bit there as well. And I promise once you've got your foundation over the top of this and the primers, it is not going to budge and that oil is not going to come through. Hack number 6 is a fairly obvious one. Nothing, you know, scientific or groundbreaking here. You need to avoid dewy foundations. And I know that can be heartbreaking because I personally love that really healthy dewy glow, but let's be real, after my makeup's been on for about 3 hours, I'm there anyway. Avoid foundations that have a satin finish, a glowy finish, a dewy finish, a sheer finish, anything radiant or shimmery or, you know, anything like that. It's going to be a no-go zone for you. I'm sorry, I know we can add glow later on with other things, but for foundation, we need to stick to things that are mattifying, things that are oil-free, and things that will basically give us a flat matte canvas. Again, I've got a couple of quick favorites to show you. So the Estee Lauder Double Wear, holy grail, oily skin foundation. I kid you not, like, oof, where would I be without you? Where would I be? I speak a lot more in depth about this in my oily skin foundation routine, which you will find linked down below. Also love the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation. Really, really good drugstore dupe to the Estee Lauder one. Hack number 7, I feel like I'm running out of fingers here, but hack number 7 is after you've applied your foundation. So whether or not you use a beauty blender, whether or not you use a sponge or a brush or whatever it is, take clean hands, and I need to stress that you make sure that you wash your hands first because it's a bit icky, but press your foundation into your skin after you have applied it. Basically, this pushes the foundation further into the skin and it stops it sort of sitting on top of the primer barrier. So obviously, you know, you've got your primers, you've got your setting spray, and then you've got your foundation. If you don't really push that foundation into your skin, it still is going to be at risk of sort of sliding off the top because it's only sitting on the top of the surface. Hack number 8 is to apply your setting powder and set your face with a damp blending sponge as opposed to a brush. So basically take this straight into the setting powder. You know what? Let's quickly show you guys what I mean. So setting powder's in the lid here. Take the sponge, and this is damp, directly into the powder, and then press it into your face to set your foundation. Don't just take a brush and lightly dust over the top. You really need to press this setting powder deep again into the skin. And again, this is going to help keep your skin really, really matte for a longer period of time than if you were to just sort of dust over with a setting powder. I don't know how it works or why it works, but I promise the only way that I can keep my makeup in place and keep it looking as mattified for as long as possible is by using a damp beauty blender sponge to press the powder into my skin. And again, it also helps with reducing the appearance of pores. Hack number 9, touching up through the day is going to be inevitable, but you need to be really careful about which powders that you touch up with. I strictly am against using any powders that contain any foundation or any color to them. So things like MAC Studio Fix powder, things like mineral powders, any kind of powder that is foundation colored or has pigment to it is not a good idea, because when you touch up with something that's also foundation, you're essentially just layering foundation on top of foundation on top of foundation on top of foundation, and you're going to start to look really, really cakey. I recommend only using translucent powders to touch up during the day. Just touch up where you need it. So for me, it's between the eyebrows and on the forehead here, down the bridge of my nose, underneath my eyes here, on the tip of my nose, kind of around my smile lines and my chin. You don't need to go in, you know, with a powder foundation and just go and like put it all over your face. You're going to look cakey and it's not going to look pretty. Like you're going to get home and look in the mirror and be like, oh, like what have I done? Promise you, translucent powder is your best friend. So yeah, I really do like this NYX one here. I also love the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. This is incredible for oily skin. And the Illamasqua, what is this? This is just their loose powder. So hack number 10 or 11, I'm not too sure what we're up to now, But blotting papers, I never used to bother with these because I was like, oh, that's just a gimmicky, silly thing that's not going to work. I promise you, blotting papers are incredible. I really like these ones by NYX because I go through these like there's no tomorrow, and these are really affordable. So, I mean, if you want to spend half of your paycheck on blotting papers, that you do you, but I like to save money on these things. They're essentially just little sheets of paper. They feel very much like tissue paper. These go in your, I mean, it's a tiny little package. You can just chuck this in your handbag. And during the day, you know, if you don't have time to touch up or you're particularly heavy in the oil production area, you take these and you press them against your skin, and what they do is they actually absorb the oil without removing or transferring or absorbing any of the makeup. So these are amazing. Like if you run off to the toilet, you know, halfway during your work day or at school or something, grab one of these out, quickly press it all over your face, and it will look the same as if you have entirely, you know, touched up your whole face with powder. They're just a little bit more portable, a little bit easier, and I mean, you can pretend you're blowing your nose and then do like a quick one, like no one will ever know. But yeah, blotting papers will change your life. I promise they are totally worth it, and like I said, these NYX ones are super, super affordable. So that brings us to the end of my oily hacks video. I really, really hope that this helps some of you guys. Like I said, I know the struggle. I've had oily skin my entire life, and I have spent years trying to find solutions that work, and hallelujah, I'm finally here and I can finally help other people with it. So yeah, leave me your comments and questions in the comment section down below. Let me know what your tricks are if you've got oily skin. Also, let me know if you try any of these and if they help you in your day-to-day oily skin life. I love you guys so much, and I will catch you all in my next video. Bye!